I have a fundraising idea. I just thought of. What if instead of having someone that barters with the audience, what if they have like a video that plays or whatever, and they have different contactless by the door, right? Just as they're about to leave. They just watch the video, then they're about to leave, and the contactless registers a certain amount, so they can either tap their card or there's a bucket or somewhere, so people can anonymously just as they go. It's just passive. What do you think of that idea?
I think people do that. I think I've seen people do similar kind of things, but you know, Muslims have that thing of charity is a big part of our faith, right? It's one of the pillars of the faith. So it's one thing saying to someone anonymously, you know, drop some money in. Someone might put a tenner in, someone might put £20 in, but if you have a crowd that's large enough, there will be someone who's going to pay £1,000. But are they going to do that without someone cajoling them, without, you know, someone drawing that money out of them? So yeah, from an organizer's perspective, it would be a lot better if we just subtly said, you know, just do your own thing. But the reason why people do it the other way is because it works and they get far more money doing it that way. So yeah, it's inconvenience for us. Yeah, it's awkward. Yeah, it's not particularly great experience, but you know, a fundraiser is just like, hey man, my job here is to raise money. Everyone's got a job. Yeah. You know, so.
Well, what if they acted more like a business, and this is probably like unethical? What if the mosque, for example, mosque usually like fundraise. What if when they fundraise, the highest donor gets different perks? Like you like get to be imam for a day. Yeah, you get to be
like an auction, right?
Yeah.
This like, new innovative idea. Why don't we come up with an auction?
If you not auction, but like if you pledge £10,000, you become an imam for a month.
What kind of shady standards do you have for imams?
And then like you get first dibs at the row during Jum'ah.
An eligible bachelor, the one who pays the most, gets to the top of the wedding.
Exactly.
You know,
you get top of the list. Yeah, that'd be funny. But it would be cool if they had sort of like an app, and you know, like Patreon, like different people can subscribe to like payment services, or they can sell merchandise. Imagine
clearly you're not a fundraiser, innit?
What if they have like cool Islamic merchandise, like the mosque?
I mean, when we on tour, Buna has merchandise that he sells.
No, but that's like one CDs. Individual. Like, you know, the organizations that fundraise. If that
but like again, look, let's look at it from a business perspective. If you're saying like from a business perspective, you have 20 t-shirts that you sell, and you know, let's say you take a whole bunch of t-shirts, merchandise, right, and you sell them for £10. To make £2,000, how much of them would you need to sell?
A lot.
Right, so I'm trying to do the maths quickly. You would need to sell 200 to make, if you're selling £10 a t-shirt, to make £2,000, you need to sell 200. That means 200 people need to buy it. So if you got a room of 200, that means every single individual in that room needs to buy it.
Clothing is one of those. I'm just saying,
merchandise. Yeah. Clothing, CDs.
The margins on clothing is really low.
I'm not talking about margins. I'm just talking about the quantity that you need to sell to make a certain amount, right? Swap clothing with any other thing, something that doesn't even cost anything, right? You would need to sell 200 of those to make £2,000 because it's £10 a pop, right? You get one person in the room to put the hand up and give you 2,000. You still have 199 people remaining who you can ask for lesser amounts. So you can say, okay, well, one person's giving me 2,000, but can 5 people give me 1,000? So you've already made $7,000 as opposed to just $2,000.
But the issue, business perspective, isn't the biggest issue with that is sustainability.
No, like, because it's still going on, man. It's still going on, right? Like how many charities
for how long can that go on?
Islamic Relief have been going for like 1984, right?
Yeah, so it's a new age now. If they don't integrate technology into it, at least.
Yeah, I understand that, but like I don't think we'll ever, because again, you might be looking at it from the perspective of a neutral.
Actually, I'm thinking more of like mosques instead of charities.
Yeah, but like, look, the Muslim community is not the secular community. If you like, there was an event recently. We go completely off tangent here, right? Going on a charity thing. Sorry about this, guys, if you listen for the Stranger Store. But there was an event that a charity did about 3 years ago with Malcolm X's daughter.
I remember that. And
95% of the room was not Muslim, because of course Malcolm X is universally accepted as a hero for the civil rights movement, right? And 95% of the room was not Muslim, but a Muslim charity brought his daughter. So what happened was at the end, she did her speech and everyone's like ready to go. And the charity were like, whoa. We're going to do a fundraiser. And a friend of mine, he came after me and he was like, a lot of the people who were in the crowd were like, I can't believe that they're going to have a fundraiser despite the fact that we paid tickets to get in. And what's even more surreal is people are actually giving the money, right? They were like, why would I give you, you know, they were like, the fundraiser was asking for £1,000 and hands were going up. Like, why would I give you £1,000? Like, that's my money. Why would I give it to you, right? But Muslims have a different perspective. Like, okay, your wealth is not going to diminish if I give through charity. So fundraisers will always go on because Muslims it's a part of our faith, it's part of the culture to give that. And it's ingrained. It's been happening for 30 something odd years that we have events where we have fundraising and people are encouraged to give it because, you know, people do see the value of like, if I give it in the way of Allah, it has been, you know, something that's brought me wealth back. So yeah, from a secular perspective, from just an event management perspective outside of the Muslim space, it's a horrible business model. With the Muslim community, it's completely different.
And the thing, I guess where I'm coming from is when I see fundraisers a lot of the times, and the one I'm thinking, charities, I think there's too much of them. So there's always someone who's asking for different. The charities I'm more or less all right with, but sometimes when I'm at my local mosque and year after year they're fundraising, I'm thinking to myself, there has to be a more sustainable way. Like your congregation might not be the same size like each and every year. Like people might not live in the same area. So there has to be some form of sustainability.
Probably, and this is probably a discussion for another time, but that's probably why, because they're thinking, okay, we asked Ahmed this year, but you know what? Ahmed's not here in our community this year. Jamal is here. Well, Jamal didn't give last year because he was in some other part of the country. Now, if we ask Jamal now, he probably will give. So, I mean, there's logically, like I said, it's probably a discussion for another time, but logically it works. That's why they're doing it. So,
okay.
And back to the stranger tour.
Yeah, the fourth day was back in the Midlands at Nottingham University.
Keep the faith.